title. But let me get to the plot line behind Diablo, and then Eric Holmes will dive deep into his review of Diablo. Chris Chaney, played by Scott Adkins, he's a recently released ex-convict, and he goes on an interesting mission, possibly perilous. He kidnaps Elisa, played by Alanna De La Rossa. She's the daughter of a powerful gangster named Vicente, and they puts this kidnapping the daughter of this powerful gangster puts them in the crosshairs from El Corvo, played by Marko Zaror, a psychopathic killer seeking revenge against Vicente's family. So I don't know. Is it No Country for Old Men? Is it a pure Scott Adkins action thriller? Let's get to Eric Holmes with his review of Diablo, which, by the way, is in theaters, digital, and on demand June 13th. What say you, Eric Holmes?
So first of all, the tone of the movie is not No Country for Old Men, but the character El Corvo, played by Marko Zaror, is very much Anton Chigurh. He's not, he doesn't look like him, but he's got that same kind, you know how like Anton Chigurh, like he's just like calm, but he's got that like kind of monstrous presence to him. This guy's not human, and this guy could kill me if he even looks at me. Like he's got that kind of presence to him.
Sure.
Then so when Scott Adkins, character Chris Chaney, goes against him, like his character is that he's like a complete badass, like no one can take him out. But then once Mark Zaror comes in, oh, you're in trouble now. You're in trouble now. And then plus he's just got that like dirty, creepy serial killer vibe to him. After you watch him on screen, it's like, I need to go take a shower now. But the main story is Scott Adkins taking Elisa and running off with her. Yeah, I
Right.
don't know if I want to say too much. You find out pretty quick, but he's not kidnapping her. He's saving her. But then you see Elisa with her father, Vicente, and you would think that like they have this terrible relationship. That's not it at all. That you see early on that those two have a great relationship. They love each other. And then so Atkins is trying to convince Elisa that he's not the guy that she knows, but all she knows of him is love from him. So she's not believing Scott Adkins at all. And then so that's a dynamic throughout it. And then you got Marko Zaror, who's looking for her in Scott Adkins, and that's bad news for him. And it's pretty good stuff. You got a really good story, and you got a bunch of great action, like all the fight scenes, as you would expect in a Scott Adkins and Marko Zaror movie, and for Ernesto Espinosa movie for that matter.
Did you ever
This
see The
is
Fists of the Condor? I think that also starred Marko Zaror. It's directed by
no,
Espinosa.
I think that is I think this is a sequel to that. So I need to go back and watch Fist of the Condor.
Oh, interesting.
I probably should have watched that before this, but anyway, yeah, Diablo, this is fantastic stuff. And I would say Marco Zaror is as much as I love Scott Adkins and Alanna De La Rossa is fantastic in this. Also in Dominique, so we should just mention Dominique
We
again. Go
love
watch
Dominique.
Dominique. Dominique is an awesome movie. But as great as Alanna De La Rossa is in this, and because she's not just like a annoying kid in this, like she's got a lot of scenery to chew in this, and she does it well. And Scott Adkins is brilliant as always. But Marco Zaror, his character in this is what makes the movie for me.
Oh,
Just
great.
because his presence is so like creepy and intimidating. It's who the hell is this guy? And I fear the hell out of this guy, but he's also unassuming at the same time.
Does it
Yeah.
get gory or graphic, or is it not too bloody and whatnot? Squeamish, will people have, are there squeamish scenes where it's a little bit too much for
In
some
an
people?
action movie sense, not in a horror movie sense.
Okay,
But that's the thing, because when Marcus Auror's on it in the movie, it turns from action movie almost a horror movie by virtue of the fact that he's in the scene.
sure.
The tone doesn't change, nothing changes. The only thing that changes is Marcos Zaror is now in the scene, and now it becomes a horror for some reason because he's got that. I don't know. I mentioned serial killer, but he's not as obvious as like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, but he's got that kind of presence to him. I don't know about that, but yeah, his character in this is fantastic, and he's a fantastic character in a great action movie.
Okay.
Diablo,
Wow.
watch the hell out of this thing.
Oh, so is this one of your, you've seen, I think you see most Scott Adkins movies. Is this your favorite Atkins film in the last several years? Because I know you mentioned Atkins can do so many genres, especially drama. Avengement is a perfect example of how we can do drama because that is top tier, in my opinion. Scott Adkins that's a collaboration with Jesse V. Johnson. Love that film so much. But is this a
The one-shot movies are probably the top.
oh gotcha right?
The Diablo's like right about there.
But still on the top tier, right? It's still
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay.
Look, bottom tier Scott Adkins is still like a 3.5 movie. So,
Yeah, which is
we're like splitting hairs at this point, but
it's so funny. The movie that I liked a little bit more than you, or actually a lot more than you, was the last Scott Adkins film we reviewed. I forgot the name of that film when they're stuck in that penthouse and shots are being fired at them. I thought that movie was so awesome. I need to get that Blu-ray or DVD if it's out on physical media. Remember, there's assassins and they're shooting into the windows and whatnot. Do you remember that movie? That Scott Adkins movie from I think maybe
the
a
was it
year.
Lights Out?
Yeah, Lights Out. I
Oh
love that
yeah,
movie.
he was in it. He wasn't in it a lot, I think, if I
Oh,
remember
okay.
correctly.
Oh no, I think okay. There was that one that Scott Atkins was a mercenary in one of those movies. But you went, oh wait,
Oh, Accident Man,
you
Hitman's Holiday.
no. I
Accident Man
think
2.
you know what? I don't think you saw. Did you see that Scott? Okay, we'll get into the IMDb and I'll look it up right now for that Scott Atkins movie. I'm thinking, do you remember this movie? He plays I think a hitman or a mercenary, and he's his best friend, and they're in between jobs, and they decide not to do this latest job. And Alice Eve is the main person who's their boss, and you don't remember this. And then they're holed up in an apartment, not a hotel penthouse. And when they open the window, I think, or the drapes, Atkins realizes there's a sights trained on them, and then the rest of the movie they have to avoid the bullets. You don't remember that? Okay, I'll get.
I do. Which one was that?
It wasn't Lights Out. I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure it out. But while I'm
Was
figuring
it
that out, yeah. Final thought on
Oh,
Diablo.
Take Cover.
Take Cover. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. I love that movie. But anyways, yeah, you enjoyed that movie too. But I was the one who like
Yes.
really flipped over it. But speaking of flipping over, what is your rating and final thought on Diablo?
Oh, this one's tough. I want to go 5 stars on this,
Okay, cool.
and I think I will.
All
Because
right.
I like overall, I think I'm 4.5. But Marko Zaror's character just sets it over the top for me. I love his character in this, and yeah, this is, and of course the fights are pretty intense. There's one of the big shots where Scotty Atkins hits the guy like right in the face, and he falls back into a pane of glass, which sounds typical action movie stuff, but the way it's shot, just like just that full on shot, it was like it's one of those action scenes, and you're watching, go, how did they do that without that guy going to the hospital? And who knows, maybe he did, but it was just such a cool shot. And then, yeah, he had a bunch of fun with the fire extinguisher as well.
Eric, I have a new mission for you. And when we get our pennies from, or by the way, I say this in complete support. Thank you for supporting us on Cinematics, whether listening to our podcast audio feed, there's commercials there. If you subscribe to our Cinematics YouTube channel, there are no commercials on our audio feed. So if you're a subscriber to our YouTube channel over in Cinematics, you support us as well. However, you support us in Patreon, $5 catch all per month. When I say pennies and cheeseburger money, I mean that in the best of ways. But Eric Holmes, you need to save some of that Cinematics cheeseburger money and not eat cheeseburgers and start go on this lifelong mission to collect every single one of Scott Atkins movies on DVD, on physical media. I think you need a Scott Atkins wall, my friend. So I'm just
I
saying.
can do that. I can do that.
I'm sure you actually have a bunch
And
of
you know
Scott
what?
Atkins.
After Diablo, I might put a Marko Zaror wall up right next to
Okay.
it.
All right. All right. So this was Cinematics Community. If you want to support us, you can support us via listening to our podcast, supporting us with just whatever dollars you have that helps us get going with the cheeseburgers. But if you don't want to send us any money, that's fine. Just listen to the podcast. Maybe even better than money, send some Scott Adkins Blu-rays and DVDs over to Eric Holmes over in Colorado Springs. Send it over and have him start collecting because we're not rich people, okay? And maybe him getting all these a library of Scott Adkins films would be a priceless thing for Eric Holmes. And again, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I'm thinking that'd be a really cool thing, right? You'd have a Scott Adkins shelf, maybe. Who knows, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna do bad things to that. I need to stop talking.
Look, for the first time in several years, Eric
It's a
Holmes is
family
speaking.
show.
It's a family. By the way, again, I'm excited to see Diablo. 5 stars
And
from
by
Eric
the
Holmes.
way,
Yes.
take the family to watch Diablo. In in a way, Diablo is a family movie.
Oh yeah, it's about yeah, a girl who's she's trying to understand the truth about her father. So in a way, it is a
Yeah.
family movie. I can't wait to see Diablo. 5 stars from Air Combs in theaters, digital, and on demand, June 13th.